It's going to work out perfectly. Bone Thomas Spock, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to I Like to Movie, the podcast about movies. My name is Garrett Smith, and Spock is literally ruining my computer. But hold on 1 second. That was the worst possible time he could have done what he just did. He is currently tangled in my headphone cords.
Then I'll drop my name. My name is Dan Scully, and right here, this is Doris Pringle Brule Salahari. She is my cat, and I love her. And since usually I record in my room, she bangs down the door. But since I am alone in the apartment tonight, my significant other is on a, I guess we'll call it a business trip. And so she's out obtaining items for her candle business, which I'll throw a plug for now. Dumpster Fires for You on Instagram. So I came downstairs so y'all can see my poop mural that we have in the living room, and so you could meet the cat. So yes, welcome to I Like to Movie visual edition, y'all.
I thought that was going to work out so much better. I thought Spock was going to walk right into frame as it was starting, and instead he just blew the whole situation up.
That's a dog, man. That's just how it is.
That's what he
It's like having the most hyperactive kid, but he can get away with being hyperactive because dogs are 10 times as cute as kids.
I know. He really is the cutest. Dude, you can come up here. You just you somehow decided, he's been up here all week. He's been fine. Somehow this one time, as soon as we hit record, he was like, I'm going to find a way to get fully tangled inside of your headphone cord.
I think for context, you should tell me what you told me before the show when I asked, could Spock be on the show? And you said...
I don't know. What did I say? Here he is.
You said, right now he's sleeping, and if I wake him up, he might go into crazy mode, so let's just roll forward. And then quite literally, the second we started the podcast, Spock, who is so fucking cute.
He really is, isn't he?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Yeah. Oh, my God, I love him. I can't wait to meet him, dude. Bro, he's the best.
He really is lovely.
But yeah, as soon as we pressed play, he decided to be a dog. Oh my goodness.
I'm tilting my camera down. You don't need to see my face. I feel like everybody would appreciate seeing his face more than mine.
Oh my God, he's so cute. I love him. I'm going to kidnap him and make him my own dog.
And he's a great dog. We've got some training to do, but he's already a really nice part of our home. We just rescued him a week and a half ago now.
Nice. How old is he?
They said they think he's about a year old, but he will have his first vet appointment next week. And nice. I think we might be able to find maybe a little more accurately from them how old he might be. Because I told friends, I was like, yeah, they told us when we rescued him he was about a year old. And they were like, yeah. That's what they told us when we rescued our dog, and then we took him to the vet, and they were like, this dog is 6 months old.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's got that puppy energy.
He really does, yeah.
Oh, he loves his daddy. Those eyes. Do you have any more information? He's not a purebred beagle, right?
No, he's a mix of some kind. We don't exactly know what kind. But they said he's from, can't remember, maybe West Virginia.
Okay.
And all they said, they didn't report any specific abuse with him or anything. They just said that the Appalachia area, pretty much all along the Appalachians down south, they just they don't really fix their dogs, and so just constantly breeding, and people just tie them up outside. They they neglect them. So they were like, as far as we know, there's no specific abuse or trauma in his past outside of just general neglect of a dog,
Yeah, which I mean for them is still
huge. I'm not trying to downplay that. Yeah, absolutely huge. I just it was kind of nice to hear that it wasn't my sister has a cat that was found on the side of a highway, and this cat literally lives underneath their bed because the tiniest noise is traumatic for them because literally cars were rushing by them when they were born, basically. So it was kind of relieving to hear that as far as they know, it was not something worse than the general neglect. But I could tell you, like, he does seem to have like some separation anxiety and stuff. He really like
Yeah.
needs to be around us all the time.
Well, and you guys are new too, and
Yeah,
like
for sure.
dogs tend to kind of like affix, and if he's had nothing to really affix to, or
Yeah.
has like affixed to a couple different things over time as he's moved along, like yeah, he's just fallen in love.
So we're doing good so far. He's just laying on the floor over there now. So maybe we'll get lucky here and get to enjoy ourselves for a few minutes before he strangles himself on my cords again.
I'm frankly not going to enjoy myself until his adorable fucking face is back into the frame.
We'll see. He
I'm
might
like
come back.
so in love with your dog right now. Oh my god!
We'll see.
And I love that you're keeping the name Spock. It's
Yeah,
already it suits.
dude, it was the best. We got there and Leia at the rescue was like, "Now, I assume you'll change this unless you're fucking Star Wars nerds or something, but his name is Spock." And I was like, "Lady, first of all,
Yeah, I'm going to prove to you how much of a nerd I am.
Yeah.
That's like, what was that Patton Oswalt bit where like the cool teacher in college professor made like a Star Trek reference on like a test,
Yeah, I don't know.
and then like it was just like, if Mr. Sulu fires the phasers, blah blah blah, doing this thing. And then Patton Oswalt was like, I'm going to tell you the story as like my friends told it. Apparently, like he went down to the professor with this test and pointed at it and was very, very firm that it's blah, blah, blah who fires the phasers and not who he said. It's like,
Right.
I can totally picture this.
Yes.
And since it's like a younger Patton Oswalt, even though he would have been college age, I just picture him in like overalls and like a foot shorter. So it's a really great image.
That's super funny.
See, we changed our cat's name when we got her because Doris's story. Yeah, she didn't come with the name Doris Pringle Brule Salahari.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah, it was. She was Bella because apparently she was found in the Bella Vista area, just living in like a construction site when she was a kitten. And so the people who got her before us had two other cats, and they had Doris for like a year, Bella at the time. And when she became full sized, all of the other cats started beating her up. And so her response was just like, okay, fine. Well, I'm just going to shit and piss on everything. We'll do that.
Yeah.
And so quite literally the local Buy Nothing group was just like, told the story and was like, if anybody can be like a caring owner for this cat, it breaks our heart, but will you take her? And we're like, free cat with option to return. We got, because Jenna and I have been talking about getting a cat for, years now. And so we finally did, switched it to Doris, and like within an hour, she's like, I've always lived here and I'm best friends with everybody. In fact, they're best friends with me. So she was, I love it because she loves us so hard, but I hate it because I know if she gets out of these doors for 15 minutes, that love is transferred to whoever grabs her next. Joseph Stalin could pick her up and she'd just be like, my best friend.
Yeah, Spock did this funny thing that I don't know why I didn't expect this. For some reason, maybe I just assumed like a dog wouldn't be smart enough to do this. But like his first 2 days in the house, he was the best dog I've ever had in my entire life. I was like, oh my God, this is a miracle. This is going to be the easiest dog. Like I was so ready for it to be like, this is going to be harder than I think, And then he went into his crate when we needed him to. He was silent all night long while he was in there. He would like listen to commands, like he could do everything. He would let us know when he needed to go outside. And then like the third day, he was a fucking monster maniac. He was just like, it was like he somehow knew like I need to trick them into keeping me.
Yeah. Honestly, that I'm not inclined to disbelieve that. Dogs are pretty smart. And especially when it comes to patterns. And so I feel like that is not entirely illogical that a dog might just be like, I went a little crazy that last guy, and they couldn't do it. Let's chill. Then he's like, these two people are pretty cool.
Yeah, now he's like, it seems like a normal dog to me now. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, now I understand what's happening. I'm right back to being worried about how hard this is going to be. Thanks, buddy.
Do you let him in the bed?
No, so I I try to be pretty open to I don't know. I feel like like my parents' generation, I think treated dogs a lot differently than our generation does. Yeah,
and they didn't treat them so much human like we do.
Right, and so but I grew up in a house that was like very strict on dogs, like very regimented schedules and that kind of stuff. And so I'm trying to find a balance between that. Anything from that feels healthy, such as like he can be in a crate for the 7 hours that I'm asleep, Yeah. And that separates those spaces and all that kind of stuff. And then if we need to leave the house, he's got a crate that he knows and likes, and he'll go in, all that stuff.
That's good.
good, convenient, you know. So I've been trying to do the stuff that I think is like smart and okay to do, and then not any of the stuff that now feels to me like that seems actually maybe abusive to dogs. You
Yeah,
know what
that's
I mean?
cruel.
Yeah.
They're not second class, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good if you can get them to sleep in the crate at night,
Yep.
because like once this is any animal. Once an animal gets in the bed for the night, it's
Yeah.
forever.
I know.
Like we let Doris in the bed on Saturday mornings, because on Saturday mornings when I wake up, we usually like to just chill in bed for an hour, read, hang
Yeah.
out, just whatever. And so we'll let her in, and she likes to burrow into the blankets. But she essentially knows, like, when the lights out on the staircase, stay downstairs. We're going
Yep.
to bed, and she
Yep.
leaves us alone. Um, and there's been so many times where Jenna's like, "Should we let her in?" I'm like, "No," because it's
I
going to be
know.
permanent, and I want to so bad. I probably want to more than you do,
I know.
but we just can't have it. It's got
I,
to, and like that
I'm
firm hand is kind of important with the with any animal.
I'm very much strict dad. Like
Yeah.
it's already become clear that the roles are like fun mom and strict dad. You know.
Oh, I
Uh,
can't picture it.
Yeah, yeah. And so like when I get up in the because I get up like a couple hours before Tori, and so like when I get up in the morning, it's strict dad and dog time, and
Mm.
and dog is very calm with strict dad before mom is awake. He, you know, Spock just kind of walks around with, you know, he follows me around, and I do my morning routine. He's with me at my feet the whole time, and then I sit down on the couch, and sometimes I put a movie on, sometimes I read, you know, I just do like a little, you know, just kind of
Yeah, yeah.
relaxing in the
I have a
morning.
morning rich. Yeah.
And he'll just sit next to me on the couch, and sometimes he won't even sit like on me. He'll just go sit on the other end of the couch. It's very nice. As soon as mom wakes up, he is a mess. He's like he's whining, he's jumping, he's hyper, he's like, and he just anytime she's around, he is just like a knucklehead. And then like it takes a while when she leaves for him to even calm down. You know, he's like
Yeah,
upset
yeah.
that she's gone. And
Oh,
then and
that's
then
so
it's
cute.
then he calms back down into strict dad mode where it's like, okay, I gotta, you know, it's very funny that he has like two different personalities depending on who he's with.
I wonder how much of that is even like projection from a previous owner,
Could
because
be.
like my mom has a dog, Olivia, craziest looking dog. I always just say she looks like a Star Wars. She's
Yeah.
part Pharaoh Hound and part Shar Pei. So she's got like big
Yep.
Yoda ears,
Yeah.
but she's wrinkly. And like when they got her, she was straight up abused. She had chain
Yeah.
marks on her. She had mange, smelled like an asshole. And she's the sweetest dog, but like there's certain things you can't do because she might just like snap.
Yeah.
And not like snap like hurt you, but just like and like not realize what she's doing.
Yep.
Um, she's afraid of like when the fireplace crackles. She's afraid of fireworks when they go off outside.
Yeah.
But what's funny, when they first got her, she was much, much better with women than she was with men. And in my head, that automatically just, I think, like probably in her previous household,
Yeah.
the women were softer and
Yep.
the men were harder. You know, it's not too
Yep.
hard to believe. And, so as a result, she just knew to make that distinction. She also, like, if you had a hat, didn't like the hats. Now she's
Yeah.
cool with everybody. You still don't want to put your face up in her face because she'll feel threatened, but she's a
Right.
sweetie, cool with hats, cool with everybody. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, like I wonder if maybe like,
It's
in his
possible.
previous house, the dad yelled, so he just kind of kept
Yeah.
down and the mom
Yeah.
gave scritches.
Well, I think even in his new house, that's the case. I'm the one that's always like, I use the tone, you know.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like,
There's
I
a
come down.
difference between dad voice
Yes.
and
Yes. Yeah. No,
and yelling.
I never shout at him. I go for tone. You know, I
Yeah.
try and drop the tone, and then. But anyway, yeah. So it's like we got fun mom and strict dad in the house, and it's definitely a funny dynamic to see his personality kind of shift depending on who he's hanging out with. You know.
I love
Uh,
it so much. They're
but
like little people.
yeah. Yep. But it's the same thing, dude. It's like I want to be able to just have him come curl up with us in bed every night so bad, but I know I can't do it because the night that we don't want that happening, we won't be able to control it.
There's nothing you can do, and he'll
So
be
it's
outside
like,
the door
yep.
making
So
noise or
I
sitting in his
just
crate yelling.
Yep. That was like one of my ground rules, and so far we've been hanging on to it. I mean, it's only been a week and a half. We'll see how it goes.
Things will happen. You'll have good days and bad days,
Yeah.
like anything else.
Yep. No, it's
Oop.
been wonderful though. I'm loving it. I'm loving him. It's the best.
My little fuzzy friend just joined the party on sitting on my legs.
Very
She
good.
was
I
on my
love her.
hip a minute ago. She's a little hoe bag. I love her so much. So I'll tell you this much, dude. In terms of what I've been watching this week,
Yeah.
when I first got my new setup, TV and soundbar and all that, I was like, what's a movie that I feel like would look good on this? And for some reason, I couldn't shake First Man. And
Yeah.
First Man was a movie that like I liked well enough.
I think we
I
all saw
wasn't
that
like
together, right?
we did, yeah. That
Yeah.
was I think that was the first time I met Tori,
Yeah, it was. I think we were just talking about that the other day. Yeah.
and I think Jill as well.
Oh, you might be right. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I think I
Yeah.
met both of them that night, and it was a good one because like Ian was there. It
Yep.
was Jenna showed up. It was
Whole
like
crew.
everybody kind of rolled through.
Yeah.
Andy was there, I believe,
I think so. Yep.
and that was a movie that I had high hopes for. And then I remember watching it and being like, okay, that was like real sharp and well made
Yeah.
and all that.
Right.
I watched it again, and
Yeah.
that is a movie I am going to be watching regularly.
Oh, I
It
love it.
is so much better than any of us gave it credit for, myself
Yeah.
included. Um, Once you know what to expect, that it's a
Yeah.
drama about the psyche and the loves and loss of Neil Armstrong as
Yeah.
related to the moon, and not a procedural of how to get to space and back,
Right.
but with some of the most well-directed and just utterly chilling and poetic space film space film I've ever seen.
Yes.
I was quite literally like 5 minutes into it, I was getting teary eyed because the whole stuff with his daughter passing away.
Yeah.
And by the end, when he's dropping the little necklace into the moon crater, I'm like on the couch, like, it was unbelievable. And I'm going to say probably the best film score of at least the last 5-6 years. It
Yeah.
is just unbelievable.
Yeah. I think
Truly a tremendous movie.
you and Ryan bring that score up a lot, and I have not given time to it and need to. I would
It
like
works.
to sit with that one. Yeah.
It's very like haunting and spooky. I feel like there's theremin and it's string heavy. It's
Yeah.
Justin Hurwitz is
Yeah,
his
yep.
name, I think.
You're
You
right.
got the La La Land Oscar.
Yep.
He's and it's really just like light and it sounds spacey. But when they first touch the eagle down on the moon, it has this huge flourish and this huge crescendo that just like, I mean, simultaneously chilled and warmed me to my core. It's just unbelievable. I cannot recommend sitting down and like really just tuning into First Man. And if you can do it with great sound and good picture, even better. It's just really, really excellent filmmaking. And I think at that point, since we were all like, all right, we all loved Whiplash. La La
Right,
Land
yeah.
was cool, but it's kind of the hip thing.
Yep.
First Man was easy to dismiss.
Yeah.
But it's I think of his filmography, it's probably his best.
I really think about. I think is it the last shot in the movie is him on the other side of the glass from his wife.
And they put the hands up.
I think about that all the time. Like that for a movie that you're right. That is how I felt about it. For a movie that I was like, yeah, that was good. Like kind of ho hum on. I guess is like the best way to describe it. Little ho hum feeling on that one.
Yeah, that solid flick. Well done.
Yeah,
Gotta go.
Exactly. Yeah. That ending hit me hard even in that moment and like really stuck with me. And I think you're right that being able to revisit it, knowing that is what the story is crescendo, where it's headed, what it's crescendoing into is like, I think it probably would work a lot, even better,
I think you'd enjoy it, and especially in a post-Astrodad world.
Yes.
Because I know you really liked Ad Astra.
I
did
really
too.
liked Ad Astra.
I thought that was so fucking fantastic. That's
Me
like
too.
a really unique movie. It looks amazing. I mean, James
Yes.
Gray is just, he's just the dude. I love me some James. I still gotta
watch
catch up with Lost City of Z.
Yeah, I haven't seen
But
that.
like, dude,
yeah.
The Yards.
Not seen it.
The Immigrant is
Not seen it.
amazing.
Yeah.
James Gray is legit. He does great work. He gets great work out of his actors, and he like Joaquin Phoenix was like his muse for a short while.
Okay.
So like that's a good combo.
Yeah.
But in a world where I've seen Ad Astra, I always forget what it's called because of my stupid Astro Dad joke.
Yep.
In a world after that, this like really comes together nicely and kind of works as like a side B side to it. Just because it is like Ad Astra is just like the dad's story from the child's point of view, and First Man is like from the dad's point of view and the husband's point of view. And of course, shout out to Claire Foy because she like disappeared and she's really good in it. And I would agree with you. Before I watched it a second time, when I close my eyes and picture First Man, that is the shot that I picture. Yeah. It's a very effective final shot. And so yeah, knowing that that's what it's building towards, it. Like even thinking about that final shot as like certain things were happening in the movie with their relationship, I was starting to get choked up because I knew, just really, really, really true. And this never occurred to me. I forgot all about this. There's like a whole plot that's just about they all live in the same neighborhood with other astronauts and
Right.
astronauts' wives.
Yeah.
And so as accidents are happening and these astronauts are dying, or, they're all getting scared, all they really have is this, like, especially the wives. But I mean, they don't really separate it husband and wife. It's kind of a collective thing,
Right.
except interpersonally, people block themselves off. But just about this community that's like, if one of them goes, they all feel it. And
Yeah.
all of them bond, even in their happy moments, over the fact of knowing that they might be the one to die or lose a spouse next.
Right.
And there's
Right.
nothing they can do. And it's just, I don't know, it's just such a great little closed location ensemble movie within all of this that I completely forgot about, that ended up probably being my favorite thing about it this time.
I do. You know what I remember enjoying a lot that I'm only remembering now that we're talking about this? What is is it Corey Stoll? Is that who plays uh Buzz?
Yeah, and which is some of the most inspired casting I've ever seen. He's great. He has
He
that
was
same space
fantastic
cowboy
in that
attitude.
movie. Yeah.
Yep. He's the only one whose spouse we don't meet,
Oh, interesting.
because he's, if I remember, I think so. We might meet her, but she's certainly not a character,
Okay.
like a major character. But yeah, there's a couple points where like when they're at the one guy's funeral. Oh no, what's his name? I'm gonna forget it. He was like a young guy actor who's now like in his 40s, and I felt old.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about?
yeah, the kid. Isn't it the kid from Almost Famous?
Yes,
Right?
Patrick Fugit.
Yeah,
And
you
so
nailed it.
Patrick Fugit, when he goes, and they're all at the funeral, and they're like, well, what they said was that they were like, coming in on this landing, they clipped this thing, and blah blah blah, and they're all just sitting there like mourning, and it's like all the wives are in the one room like handling food, and all the astronaut husbands are in the other room just kind of like brooding together. And then I almost called him Buzz Lightyear. Then Buzz Lightyear, he's like, well, they should have gone to infinity, but they went beyond. No, Buzz Aldrin, he's just like, I don't think it was an altitude thing. I think it's actually more that they weren't coming in fast enough, so they weren't able to clear it. And everyone just like looks. He's like, what? We were all thinking it, and we have to know this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And he throws it to Goo Goo Gus, and he's like, what do you think about that? And he's like, well, I think that I wasn't there, and I haven't read any official reports, so I wouldn't presume to know anything about it. And he like just rebuffs him cold, and Buzz Aldrin's just kind of like, okay, stuffy guy. But like that is the vibe that even now when I see like badass old man Buzz Aldrin, who has like I've been to the moon swagger.
Yeah.
It's a really great. The casting across the board's great. Christopher Abbott shows up. Forgot about that.
Oh, I did not remember that.
The dude who plays the Riddler on Gotham, whose name I always forget, but who I love, he's in it. Like, there's all these people that just like roll through that I'm like, oh shit, you were in this.
Is Detroit Rock City in it too?
Detroit Rock City. There's 3 Detroit Rock Cities. I've actually not seen that movie. Are you talking Cabin Fever? Because I know Detroit Rock City has Cabin Fever in it, and it's not him. Is Lucas Haas who you're thinking of? Because I think he rolls through, and I was like, damn, Lucas Haas is also middle-aged. Oh, God. Remember when he was not War Games? What was the movie? The movie where he like went against Patrick Stewart with computers and taking over a mall? Very 90s post-hackers, grunge kind of thing. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I don't think I've seen that. That doesn't sound familiar.
Masterminds.
Masterminds.
I just scared the cat. Sorry, Doris.
I was right. Okay, you know who it was? It was Ethan Embry is who I was trying to think of.
Yes, Ethan Embry.
Is he in Detroit Rock City?
He's Can't Hardly Wait.
Oh, that's right. Damn it. I had the wrong one.
And if you haven't seen The Devil's Candy yet,
I haven't.
Absolutely.
I know that I will like that movie. I've been waiting to watch it. Yeah.
It's a hardcore heavy metal horror movie that and he's great in it, but what's so good about it is that it's a cool family. Like the family that all this is happening to is a loving, cool, atypical family, and like you care about them. Dude, brah, that movie fucking rips. But yeah, so that is my thing that I went back and did this week was watching First Man, and it just
love it.
Absolutely fucking wrecked me. And I honestly might put it on again tonight. It was awesome. Fucking awesome.
I love it. Well, I have like a few things I think I kind of want to talk about, but
I know you want to talk about one, and it's a movie that I saw years ago, your Pop-Tart movie.
Yeah.
And I don't remember much, but like I'm really
excited. We can start there. Dude,
it's up to you. You start where you want.
Death Spa is incredible. Is absolutely incredible. Where did you see it?
I saw it. Oh man, I guess I was probably like 16 or 17 in
Okay.
like my trauma years.
Yeah.
I think I got a VHS at B&C Video,
I was gonna say because
if I remember correctly, because you
seems
used to
like
get
it's kind of
stacks at B&C for like it was like rent 5 for 5, and so you would just grab
yeah.
anything.
It seems like it's
So I
kind of
think
hard to
that.
find these days.
Yeah,
Like I had a little trouble getting my. I think you can like rent it on YouTube. Like we just rented it somewhere, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
But I haven't looked too deep into it. But I don't even know if there's like a current like physical release of it. You know.
I know I watched it on tape, and it was either a B&C rental or it was the Monster Mania Con in Cherry Hill,
Oh
a
sure.
bootleg.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of those where someone got a bootleg there, but I don't
Because
remember. But I just remember it being nuts because there's like a fucking like a fish cat thing, if I
dude,
remember correctly.
it's
Bites
so
a dude's
weird.
face. It's like
Yeah.
nuts.
It's so. I mean, I don't even. First of all, I mean, I think I feel like I'm about to just do a bunch of how did this get made jokes because I think they did this movie a while ago.
Could you not make heads or tails of it?
Right? Yeah, exactly. Bonkers. And I.
This guy gets it.
Yeah. But I do like it. I don't even know. I don't even know where to start because it's called Death Spa, and I'm pretty sure it takes place at a fucking gym.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like the whole thing is like nonsense from top to bottom. But like, I genuinely, I mean this sincerely. It looked fucking great.
Mhm.
I loved it. It is like I think a fairly well directed piece of total trash.
I
You know,
think it also has like, I don't want to say good performances,
right?
but I do want to say effective performances.
I
And slightly different from like the schlock where you go, oh, they kind of get it. Like everyone's so earnest that
yep.
them not getting it makes their performances better.
To me,
I hope that makes sense.
it totally makes sense because we also watch, and I'll talk about this too. We watched The Dentist. Have you ever seen The
Oh,
Dentist?
dude, I own The Dentist.
Yeah, The Dentist is crazy. Which I
Corbin
really,
Burnson is fucking awesome.
he's incredible in that movie. But I
Have you
think that
seen The Dentist too?
not yet. We're looking
Also
forward to it.
crazy.
Awesome. We also really like The Dentist, but I actually think they're really nice counterpoints where like The Dentist is like a schlocky movie that basically feels like a softcore Skinamax
Yeah.
horror movie, right?
They go hard on the actually showing the drilling of the teeth.
Oh my god, holy
And I
shit.
think that's probably where it started. Was some effects guy was like, I figured out a way to make it look like I'm fucking up some teeth, and it
Yeah.
looks real.
Yeah,
Killer
I mean, 'cause
Dentist.
that is the most fucked up thing about that movie. But I do think that movie, they're both skin flicks, right? Like they both have lots of nudity. But like that movie
Oh,
looks,
that's Yasna.
yeah, well, but that movie, The Dentist, looks and feels like a Cinemax movie. It looks and feels like
Yeah.
something you would see at like 2 a.m, like a softcore porn. Just even in the way it's like shot and looks, you know? And some of this is just that I think, that's like 1993 and Death Spa is like 1989. So they're being shot on like, different cameras, different lenses, different everything. But Death Spa doesn't feel like that to me. It doesn't have that. It's what you're saying. It's like Death Spa is actually like earnest in a way that makes it feel like a quote unquote like real movie, even though it's just as cheesy and demented.
I think they
you know?
think about their shots more, like in terms
Yeah,
of
yeah.
like there's more composition to it.
Yes,
Whereas like The
totally.
Dentist is more like, we're gonna throw this gimmick, we're gonna have some fun.
Yep.
Corbin Burnson's gonna chew scenery.
Yep.
We're gonna have some gnarly fun. Whereas like I think the people who made Death Spa were like, we can make this shot high art, and they
Yeah.
just didn't realize what they were working with.
It,
Or maybe
I mean,
did. I couldn't. It's really been a long time, but
if you go to my Twitter, I posted probably too many screenshots from it today
oh,
because
nice.
I loved the way that movie looked, and I genuinely think if you look at the screenshots I posted, there are some well composed, really well lit, and colorful shots from that movie.
I
And
remember it being like very bright, and it was before I had the cultural knowledge to call it a Pop Tart,
That's right, yeah.
but a child. But I just remember seeing that and being like, "No, it's so 80s,"
Yep.
As defined by a 17-year-old in
But
2004.
That's actually the other thing that
99.
I loved about it and thought was like kind of remarkable is it looks like the way when we make movies now that are 80s references that are sort of playing in the nostalgia of 80s, they look like Death Spa, but we make fun of them for being like, oh, nothing ever actually looked that way.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
they're leaning into it.
Death Spa literally looks like that. Like it has to be the reference point for like when people are trying to do like over the top 80s stuff. It's from 89 and actually looks like that. You know what I mean? It's like full of the pink purple lighting. It's like got all these like crazy set designs and like costume effect, like all the costumes are nuts. Ken
It's
Forey's in it.
the
Has this like
80s
Ken
80s
Forey has
bar.
this crazy like rainbow, almost like Rainbow Randolph. Was that the character's name in
Yes.
the yeah, it's like almost like that, but it's just supposed to be his like uniform for the gym that he fucking works at. It's like it's nuts.
Yeah, dude, the aerobics gyms in the
Yes.
80s as depicted in movies. I
Yes.
don't know how they really were. I ain't never been to one. The
Yeah.
costumes people wear are fucking nuts.
The costume design in this movie is insane. The main guy basically looks like he's trying to be Mel Gibson, and at one
I can
point
picture him.
he wears a jacket without anything underneath it. He's just
Oh, well,
walking
that's what cool
around
dudes
in
do.
yeah, he's just walking around in jeans and a jacket only, like unzipped so
Total
you can
Riggs
see his
move.
bare chest. Like, yeah,
That's a
very
Riggs
funny.
move. I think I know the guy just because in my head but maybe I'm just picturing every 80s guy who had the Riggs haircut.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. He's got that exact haircut. Dude, it's glorious. If you can get your hands on it,
I'll
watch
just
Death
rent it.
Spa tonight. Like it is
Okay.
that much fun.
I did already start drinking. That could help.
It's a
But
blast. And it's also
nice.
it's a movie that like every 5 minutes you're like, I cannot believe this is unfolding in this way. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
it just more and more crazy shit keeps getting piled on and it never feels out of place. You're just so okay, well, let's keep going. All right, what do you got
It's the
next?
death spa. I
Yeah.
guess that's what they said. Wait, correct me if I'm wrong though. Is there like a weird in my head? I'm picturing like a fish cat.
100%.
Okay.
In the final minute, it's like the movie is all about this death spa, which is the spa where bad things keep happening. You literally, it could just be called like so and so's very good, no bad day. You know what I mean? Like it, it just is like all this bad shit keeps happening. Women keep getting locked in showers while steam gets too hot and their skin
I
burns off.
remember that. That
You know,
sticks out in
it's
my
like
head.
that
Yep. No,
kind
you
of
said yeah.
stuff. And so like everything is somewhat grounded in the idea that the spa is killing people. Now,
Yeah.
the explanation for that is not grounded at all, but like it is for a long time somewhat grounded in that. But then by the end, this like cop that's investigating everything that's happening gets mysteriously pulled into a freezer where all of the stuff that's being kept cold in the freezer just starts exploding, and then
Yes.
eventually
Oh, I
all
can
the dead
picture them.
fish come to life, and one of the dead fish just jumps off the shelf and bites his throat until he dies.
That's what I'm picturing. I don't know why I have a cat in my head. Is there a cat involved?
Not that I remember, but honestly, maybe,
Yeah,
probably.
I do remember the fish now because now you conjure the freezer imagery.
Yep. Yep.
That's oh man, I really do want to watch that. That's like
It's
fun
insane,
as shit.
super fun. It is real, and it like again, it's like I don't think I'm stretching it to say it's like I think it's pretty well directed. It's like it's
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
schlock, but I really loved the way it looked.
Good schlock is not easy to direct.
Yes.
We all learned. Now, granted, it's all jumped the shark by now, but we all learned from Tommy Wiseau versus like Sharknado is that when you try to be bad, it's
Yeah.
fun, but no one like who gives a shit.
Yep.
But when you try to be good, and it just doesn't nail, it's sublime.
It's super, super fun. Can't recommend Death Spa enough. And we'll also give a hearty recommendation to The Dentist, which I didn't like
I will
quite as much as
second.
Death Spa, but I really enjoyed The Dentist.
Get down. Get down. She's trying to eat the arrow garden. She just discovered the arrow garden.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember when Corbin Burnson was on Conan once when I was very young, and I used to watch Conan every night because I was going to be the biggest comedian in the world. And Corbin Burnson was on it, and the interview just kept going back to The Dentist. Oh, hi, Stinky.
Hello.
And it just kept going back to The Dentist because it was one of Conan's favorite movies. There you go, Kat. You can do this.
Hello.
Can we get a split diopter through an iPad?
Yeah, I don't know.
Come on,
Hello.
Kat. Got that nice reflection in the window too.
Hello.
All right, okay. And so, but it was one of those things where he was promoting some movie, and when I guess I was probably like 15. Even by then, Corbin Burnson was not making A-list pictures, but it was something that he was promoting that was like not low class. And Conan just kept bringing it back to like, but what about The Dentist? We gotta talk about The Dentist. And this all has me thinking of, I believe it's Dr. Giggles or
Yeah,
a different.
I've never seen that. I know what you're talking about.
But I remember, I think it was Dr. Giggles. It was some sort of killer doctor movie. It might even have been The Dentist. But I remember back at the video store, they had 2 copies of whatever this doctor movie was. And they had 2 different taglines. And the one tagline was, "The doctor is out of his mind." And then the other one was, "The doctor is in." insane. And I always loved that they just went both ways with it and printed both of them. I forget whether it was Dentist, Giggles, or some other low grade
That is
fucking crap. But
very funny. Well, I can tell you that because a one Dan Santelli, a friend of the show, recent guest, I was tweeting or texting about The Dentist, and Dan Santelli sent me a text to let me know that the taglines for The Dentist 2, the sequel to The Dentist, are "Open your mouth and say ah."
amazing.
And this is my favorite one. You know the drill.
Oh!
You know the drill.
You know the drill. That's incredible.
So good.
That is incredible.
Look who it is.
You know the drill. It's Stinky Little Spock.
He's back.
I call every animal Stinky. So don't take that personally.
No, that's okay.
Oh my goodness!
I'm gonna try and keep us both in frame so people can enjoy Spock.
Ugh. Well, I will share this with you.
Please.
First off, I'm reading this book that
what is that?
I had never heard of it before, but Jenna read it because Hagen Bryce Walker, very talented playwright that does all of like the cool, weird, queer Halloween plays that she's in every year for Philly Fringe. He writes them, and he loves this book because it's just like trashy, angry, bitchy murder fight. And so Jenna had it, and she read it, and she was like, if you ever want to read this, it reads quick, and you should do it. And I started yesterday, and I'm 200 pages into it. It is, I don't want to dismiss it by saying it's like, smutty crap or anything. It's very well written, but it reads, it's like reading a Dan Brown novel where you're like, I'm here because this is fun and it moves. I can't wait to pick this back up again because every chapter ends with a sting that just involves like murder, sex, kidnappings, blah, blah. And they just hit you with it. Like there's snuff films, there's fucking a missing girl, and it all ties together. There's two, like there was a scene where this one lady, stop eating the headphones. This one lady, her husband, like they're having sex in an alleyway, and then some guy stabs her husband to death. But then, like at the funeral, her sister shows up and tries to pee on the grave because he like tried to assault her back in the day. And it's just nonstop, dude. I'm cracked the fuck out. So already, I'm a third of the way through. Highly recommend to any of our listeners Karen Slaughter's Pretty Girls.
Love
and
their
if
name.
Goodreads is to be believed, a lot of reviews on Goodreads are like, ugh, Slaughter really lost her touch. This book is slow. So I can only imagine what her other books are.
Yeah,
if
that's crazy.
This is slow because this is, I love it.
I love that her name is Karen Slaughter. I love an airport author that names themselves after what they're doing.
Yes. Oh yeah. And that's the other thing is there's a what I love is there's a quote on the front that says stunning, certain to be a book of the year. What I love is that it's not a book of the year. Nowhere on the cover has it been listed as a book of the year. But the person who said that was Lee Child, from whose brain came the Jack Reacher series.
Oh, okay, right.
Which I fucking love. Those books read. So I'm sold. And then like Gillian Flynn's on the back, and she did Gone Girl, which rocked. So
that's cool.
But in my local Buy Nothing group, where I get rid of old books and movies and things, and where we got the cat and where you find things, I obtained a book that I am so happy to own because it's old. It's like a dime store copy. It stinks like an old book, and it's the short story collection of Elmore Leonard that has 310 to Yuma in it.
That's very cool.
I cannot wait to crack this bad boy. And it's just like large text, pulpy dime store novel. And like I feel like it was printed with the smell on account of it being Elmore Leonard. But like he did old westerns before he did LA, neo-noir kind of stuff.
Cool.
And I've never read any. And this book as an object is just something that I've just been looking at on my bookshelf and smiling about.
Yeah.
Because it's just so I just picture him with like a cigarette and 2 cigarettes in his mouth, 1 in each ear. He's 2 bottles of Jack Deep just plunking away at an old style typewriter. Just like, and it's amazing. He's got a hat that has a press card in it. I don't know why, but that's part of it. Ding. And so that novel coming out the other end of that situation pleases me to no end.
I love that. Dude, the only other movie I wanted to recommend is mostly just to give a shout out to a movie that I think is like kind of coming out soon that people should be able to see. We got a screener of it, and I enjoyed it enough that I want to recommend it to people. It's called Blood from Stone. Have you heard of
Blood
this?
from Stone. I think I got a press email of. Oh wait a minute. Blood from Stone.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Have you seen this movie?
I have not seen it, but I believe I am reviewing it.
It's a pretty good. I liked it quite
I
a
mean, I'm
bit.
gonna check it out no matter what. Oh no, you know what? It's Queen of Black Magic that I have coming up.
Okay.
But I would like to see Blood from Stone. Is that coming to Shudder?
I'm not sure actually. I don't know who's releasing this.
I just
Um,
know that the name's in my head, but no, I've not seen it. I'm not familiar.
I jokingly referred to it as Leaving Las Fangus. Um,
Okay.
it's a vampire movie, but it's like all about like toxic relationships and addiction issues. And it's
Okay.
sort
Ooh.
of kind of in the maybe a little in the way that What We Do in the Shadows sort of like remixes a lot of vampire mythology to sort of create its own little insular vampire world. This is like doing a lot of world building, sort of using familiar vampire tropes to like create a unique sort of interesting world. And it's like it's a pretty, I think, cheap movie. Like it to me appears to have been, made fairly inexpensively. But it's pretty effective storytelling and just like good performances. I just liked it. I don't know.
I'm gonna
It's
look it up
pretty
because it
cool.
really does sound familiar. Like I can almost picture the font of the title.
It does have like a kind of distinctive look. Um, you know,
Whoa,
it,
that's a cool cover.
yeah, I
That's like
know.
really
It's
bitching. Yeah.
The artwork is pretty cool, and I would say, Dan, it looked like a Puff movie, is what I would say, where it does have some stylish. It is like creatively stylish, but you can definitely tell it's like made fairly cheaply, I think, and by just a small creative team.
Well,
And
the director Jeff Ryan
yeah,
also made this movie called Frey.
I've never seen this. What is
I,
this?
I saw this back in the day, and it's one
Yeah.
of those like super indie. Oh, I closed my thing. Super indie
Hmm.
movies that's like that you watch and you go, oh man, like if they had a couple more bucks, like this would get awards. Like it's a good solid movie.
Yeah.
So sold. I'm totally sold.
It was really cool. I liked it quite a bit. And I wanted to recommend it to people. Blood from Stone. It's like a vampire movie, but it's like it's sort of like a drama about vampires, I would say. But it is fun.
Mhm.
It has a lot of like fun, kind of a sly sense of humor to it and stuff. It was cool.
I
I
would like
liked
to
it quite
see
a
it.
bit.
That the
Yeah.
cover art has sold me.
Yeah.
Uh, sold me completely.
Oh
That
yeah.
looks
It,
cool
it,
as hell.
it all takes place in and around Las Vegas, so there's lots of just like bright lights and it's cool. It's fun.
Nice. Blood from Stone.
Yeah.
Jeff was it Jeff
Jeff
Ryan is the
Ryan.
name?
Yeah. Jeff
Jeff
Ryan.
Ryan wrote and directed.
Yep.
I'll say a couple other things that I picked up in because I'm now cracked out on physical media because I haven't had it for years, and so I'm like burning through gift cards from Christmas just to get like 4Ks.
Hmm.
So the most recent stash that I got, I can't wait to revisit. I've been like kind of half watching it, while I'm doing other things, just because it's a big old beefy meal.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I just Once upon a time in Hollywood, I every time I watch even a little bit of it, every shot is just so well thought out and considered, and it's like it really is. I think Tarantino's like absolute best.
I've been thinking about that movie a lot lately. I do want
it
to see it
That's
again.
the thing. It like doesn't escape you, and like it's one of those, like I had it on the other day while I was just cooking. I made a big batch of chili, and as I was cooking, I just kept walking over and I'd watch, be like, oh yeah, it's this scene. And then I realized I was standing there for like 25 minutes, and it was like,
Yeah.
oh shit, man, I gotta get it. It's just so I can't wait to like have a day where I just get barbecued and just
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
eating, all day. Same goes for this bad boy, which I was clicking through the greatest hits of last night just to watch in 4K and with like subwoofer sound. But bro,
Woo!
the
Woo!
latest the latest transfer of 2001 is just something to behold. The whites are white, the reds are red, and the sound is like I was watching the Jersey scene and listening to it rumble. I was just getting chills and
Uh,
really good. And it also has a full length commentary by Keir Dalia,
who's
and
that?
it's like the star, Keir Dalia
Oh, yes.
from like Black Christmas and
Yep.
such.
Yep.
Him and Gary Lockwood, the two lead astronauts, and it's like these poor fuckers have to sit here for 2.5 hours. a lot of which has no dialogue and fill it with commentary that they can't really say anything about, like, the intentions. They can talk about the experience of production, but not the intentions of it, because Kubrick is,
Right.
he is now a space baby, ostensibly.
Yeah.
And so, so I haven't watched that commentary yet, but I think that that might come on later tonight, because when I'm drunk and I can't focus on a movie, commentaries are legit. And then keeping in that theme, the
Woohoo!
4K of The Shining,
I was gonna ask about if you had also gotten that when you held up
it looks
2001,
so
because I've heard it
good.
looks amazing. Yeah.
It's like, it's the kind of thing, like, when I first saw The Shining, I was like maybe 16 or 17. I like didn't get it. I was like, it was
Yeah.
good, but I don't know. And more I think about it, like, it's it's certainly one of the best movies ever made. And if somebody made the argument that it was the best movie ever made, I would feel not in like completely disinclined to fight them on it. It's such a tremendous piece of filmmaking,
Yeah. I
and it
love that
looks
movie.
so good. And watching it, I was like, shit, I'm gonna have to buy the 4K Doctor Sleep now too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
Also great.
I ordered that. That's the world should get on their knees in penitence to Mike Flanagan,
Yeah.
because what he did with Doctor Sleep was beyond impossible.
Yeah. Agreed.
Beyond impossible.
Yep.
Tying together all of those conflicting sequelizations and all of it into one, and doing so in a way that's like entertaining,
Yep.
especially not even at 3 hours, especially at 3 hours,
Yes. Yes.
is something that, like, if ever a man deserves every blowjob that he desires, it is Mike Flanagan,
Uh,
on account of Doctor Sleep. That's a horrible way to put it, but it's just the way it is in my head right now. That man deserves all of the pleasures on account of that. But watching The Shining, it was weird watching these clips and the whole time just going like, man, this looks amazing, and Mike Flanagan nailed it with Doctor Sleep.
yeah.
Completely.
I was just watching a scene from The Shining today, and like I think when I was watching Doctor Sleep, it didn't strike me how much the actress that is playing God, why can't I think of the character's name now? But
The lead girl, Abra.
no, the actress that is playing from The Shining, Shelley Duvall's character.
Oh yeah, she's playing. She's that's one of my favorites, Alex Esso. I have such a
Yeah, okay.
huge, ridiculous fanboy crush on her ever since Starry Eyes and Midnighters.
I feel like when I was watching Doctor Sleep, she not that she doesn't look a lot like anyway, it didn't strike me that she looked a lot like Shelley Duvall. I was like,
Yeah,
oh, this is good. Like they made good casting choices where they don't look exactly like the people, but they look enough like the people, and so it works for me. And but then I was watching a clip from The Shining today, and I was like, oh no, she looks exactly like fucking Shelley Duvall in this movie. Like she
yeah.
looks exactly like Shelley Duvall in this movie.
If you put them next to one another, you'd be like, oh yeah, they look different.
Yep.
But it's such a smart casting choice that even though they do look different, in context, you're like, that's the same character. They look
Yes.
alike.
Yep.
Same
Yep.
goes for
Yeah.
Henry Thomas
Henry
playing
Thomas. Yeah.
Nicholson. Because let's be honest, if someone came out and did their best Jack Nicholson, it would be
Yeah.
so distracting. Or if they did a CGI one,
Yep.
it's just a bad choice. And I said this about the Five Bloods,
Hmm.
when the older actors play their younger selves. Like, that is such a great sign of Spike Lee saying, I respect my audience. They
Yeah.
can make that leap. I don't have to create a fake leap for them. They're
Right.
smart enough to do that. And like, I love when a filmmaker respects their audience. And
Hmm.
by not digitally doing Nicholson or advising your actor to go full on Jack Torrance, they ended up, you trust the audience, and it worked. It just worked.
Yeah.
And same goes for um oh no, why am I forgetting his name?
Ewan?
No, not you. And oh man, I can't. This is the worst thing that has ever happened in my life, because it's absolutely unacceptable that I have forgotten this man's name. Scatman Crothers playing
Oh.
Halloran, and he shows up, but
Yep.
it's not Scatman Crothers. And you know what? Let's shout out that actor since we have the ability. But they just recast him, and there's no lapse in logic or reality. Carl Lumbly plays Dick Halloran in
Okay. Yeah.
Doctor
Yeah.
Sleep,
Yeah.
and like, that's just a moment where the director's like, no, I respect the audience. They
Yep.
get this,
Yep.
and that lack of the more I think about it, the more I think, like, I don't want to go so far as to say if they did a CGI Jack Nicholson, that's disrespect for the audience.
Right.
But I think what occurs to me is that it's not. What bugs me isn't the falsity of it. What bugs me is the utter like it's not necessary.
Yeah. Agreed.
Unnecessariness of it. Is that the word?
Yeah.
And so it just feels almost like, I don't want to say it's a disrespect to the audience, but it's almost like, well, we do have to consider the lowest common denominator. And it's like, fuck, man. Like, and so I like when they aim for the highest and just say, no, keep up. And then they find the lowest common denominator can keep up. They're not as low as they thought.
Right. Yeah. Man, Doctor Sleep was good. I'm very jealous that you own The Shining on 4K. That's a thing that I would like to also own myself.
Well, it is available, and to tell you the truth, it was like cheap. I think it was like $15.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of that's the thing. Like when I started going like, oh, I'm gonna get some 4Ks. I didn't think really too much about new movies, sort of like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and First Man. It was like, what are the greats? Because like when I sit down to watch a movie on the big screen in my house now, because it's like we're not gonna get to the theater anytime soon.
Yeah.
It was just like, what do I want to watch that's big? What's going to turn me into the dude sitting on the couch with his tie blown back? What was that, Dolby or whatever that was?
Yeah.
Like, what can do that? And it was the immediate answers were, oh, yeah, The Shining.
Yeah.
2001,
It is. I feel like on Film Junk, I remember them having a conversation about like the movies they've bought over and over again, mostly because a new medium came out and they wanted to like test that new medium to its like fullest. So like, something like The Shining is a movie that they've bought like 4 or 5 times on like pretty much every medium that it's come out on.
Oh, both The Shining and 2001 are movies that I already own.
Yep.
And it's funny too, because like even like with like an HDR player or whatever it is, I'm not going to know the terminology. They upscale the DVDs so they look even better, which is great and like should be enough for me. My eyes are not that refined.
Yeah.
But goddamn, a 4K looks fucking hot. Ooh,
I know.
I can't wait. I got the 4K of Creed coming in the mail. I can't wait to, because I got a box set of all the Rockies.
I saw you watching a few of those this week. Yeah.
Dude, those men have never looked shinier. It is unbelievable. And so Creed is going to be the shiniest, sweatiest, most incredible movie, and I'm going to cry my eyes out watching it, and I'm going to be shiny in the face.
I love it.
I can't wait.
I love it. Yeah, I'm going to pull the trigger on a 4K TV soon, I think. I've been kind of dancing around one for a little while now. And I mean,
now's the time.
Yeah.
The one that I got was like $300.
Yeah.
And it's... I've been holding out on. I've been watching everything on an iPad, and I've been holding out on getting a TV. Just going, I don't really need it. And the fact of the matter is, I don't. Yeah. But when I decided, like, as a reward for surviving 2020, and my goodness, the rewards for surviving 2021 are going to be exponentially larger if the year's events are to be believed.
Yep.
And they're hard to believe, but only because they're so easy to believe. But I was like, I'm just gonna get a TV, and it is. I don't want to say it changed my life, but I definitely look back on the me that was silently rejecting getting it because an iPad was enough.
Yeah.
And really it is enough, but like, man, have I missed out on watching some killer shit on just like a good quality thing.
Yeah, just big, loud, good quality. It's
the best.
You're a movie fan. It's worth it.
I was playing Animal Crossing on my TV, and even there, I'm just sitting there like,
oh god, the music's so good in that game.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Playing like Mario Galaxy, like it's another world.
Yeah.
It's so I definitely advise it if you can spare $300, and like I didn't get top of the line. It's just like an LG LED TV.
Yeah.
Best $300 I spent in recent memory.
It looks like this guy wants to say goodbye to everybody.
Oh,
goodbye,
no.
Spock.
It's weird because then Doris just hopped up again, wants to say hello.
Oh, there you go.
Or wants
Hi,
to
Doris.
say goodnight. Hi, Stinky.
Yeah.
Hi, Stinky.
But I think that's actually a good cue for us, if you feel the same.
Man.
We'll be back on the regular feed next week with we're going to round out that Omen trilogy.
Yes.
Can't wait.
Yes. we'll talk when we get off here. I have a thing to talk to you about that.
Sounds good. But you can find us on the internet at I Like 2 Movie. It's the numeric 2. Everywhere, Facebook, Twitter. Look us up on Apple Podcasts, I think it's called now, and leave us a rating and subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. That helps us too. And you can find me on Twitter at Philadelphia. That's with an F. That's where I am on Letterboxd as well.
Right on. At Dan Scully on all of those things. You can always check out cinema76.com, moviejohn.com, findy.com. Check out Hot Property, a Goofy show. One more plug for Jenna's Candle Company, Dumpster Fires for You. Got some inventory here that she's looking to move at a premium. So if you want some cheap candles that are really good, and they're soy candles, so you can burn them in a house where birds live. I learned that recently. Oh. Can't burn candles where if you have a bird, it hurts their respiration. But soy candles apparently you can. So yeah, something. Take that with you. Put that in your noggin and take it to trivia. And so yeah, I guess that's it, right? That's everything. Did I cover all the things?
Yeah, I think so.
That's all the stuff.
My name is Garrett Smith, and I like to movie.
My name is Dan Scully, and I like to movie.
And we all know that you like to movie because we
like
to